Good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
So I hope you had a very eventful day from the past 3 days. So past 2 days you have covered extensively on different topics. So today, this particular session is your session. It is all about you as a trainer and how you are going to go ahead in your training career. What are the important aspects of your training career? What are the necessities needed for you? What are the challenges for you? What are the big problems that you are facing and you have not identified? And what are the other issues that prevents you from performing? And what are the limitations and what are the milestones that you can set? You might have not even thought that you can reach to that level. So are we ready?
Ready, sir.
So I have prepared it in such a way, the 3 pillars of the dog training career. Number 1, dog management. Second one, training methodology. And the third one is self-management. जो 3 महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है जिसके ऊपर पूरा ट्रेनिंग आप बता सकते हैं वो है पहला डॉग मैनेजमेंट, जिसके बारे में ऑलरेडी आपका नॉलेज हो चुका है. Past 2 days it has been extensively taught about the dog management and I hope you got now a glimpses of what exactly is the dog management. Training methodology. I just want to know how much you are aware of these conditions. So I can even skip some slides. आप ट्रेनिंग मेथडोलॉजी का थियरीज कितने हद तक जानते हैं मैं जानना चाहता हूँ. तो मैं एक आध शब्द इधर यूज़ करूँगा. आई वॉन्ट टू नो वेदर यू नो दिस थिंग्स. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू नो अबाउट क्लासिक कंडीशनिंग? What about operant conditioning? Clicker training? So I think I should discuss on these slides. क्योंकि क्या हुआ है, अभी तक ऐसे हुआ है कि पहले पिछले जो भी इस प्रोफेशन में काम किया है उन्होंने एक रीति बना के रखा है. You have a training manual which says that step 1 to 6 to be repeated and 7th the animal will start producing result. Am I right? आपको SOPs है, आप उसी SOPs के हिसाब से चलते हैं. आपको इसके पीछे क्या हो रहा है जानवर में, which I feel it is not taught to you. मेरा उम्मीद है कि आपको साइंस का पूरा बैकग्राउंड like what exactly is happening in training is not taught to you. So I think then training methodology will be very important session. Unfortunately not being covered so far. It will be beneficial for you. And the last one is self-management. Of course it is useful for everyone sitting here. And I think training methodology is also very important for everyone. You know why? एक कुत्ता और बच्चा, इंसान का बच्चा सेम प्रोसेस से जाता है. So you may be able to see your own training and how you have developed during these sessions. Okay. So before the prerequisite is that you are already thorough with this dog management. Now we are going to see the training methodologies and the self-management strategies for this profession. Dog management के बारे में we have covered about these topics so far. Do you want me to tell 2 minutes on the conclusion of what you have spoke for the past 2 days? Or shall I skip? मेरे को अगर 10 सेंटेंस में इसके पूरे में बताना है तो I'll be just telling you the few important things. Just as a brush up. Because somebody said that he has missed the session and he wanted a small brief on the beginning. First thing is, before you start a career with the dog, and if you are going to take an animal to this, please understand that it is an individual sentient being just like you and me, and it has got its own motion, emotion and behavior. Behavior ऐसा होता है कि पूरे body parts is trying to communicate, the animal is trying to communicate with you by using whole body. It starts with the eye. I think I have told you about the eye, what are the important things. You cannot see that white of the eye in a normal eye. If white eye दिखा रहा है मतलब the animal is in stress, and you have also seen lot of other conditions. You know how the tails are used and the mouth, what is being communicated. So it is like body posture, everything is giving a clear picture about the animal's condition. That is about the behavior. And behavior ऐसा चीज़ है कि आप कोई टेक्स्ट बुक से या कोई कोर्स से पढ़ा नहीं सकता. आपके रोज़ की ज़िंदगी ऐसे ही है कि एक ऐसा एक लैबोरेटरी है, आप उसमें ही आप बहुत कुछ जान सकते हैं, प्रोवाइडेड यू हैव द एप्टीट्यूड फॉर लर्निंग बिहेवियर. तो उसमें कौन सा क्षमता होना चाहिए, व्हाट आर द पर्टिकुलर ट्रेट्स इन योर personality which is needed for to be a dog trainer. We will come to that later. So it is just like behavior is a very important part of dog training. Then you know the general care of the animal. You should be able to understand the animal right from the beginning. And feeding, you should know what exactly to be fed. I think the sessions extensively covered about the breeding, or how to breed, what are the signs the animal is shown during these particular sessions. And kennel management, Dr. Justin has already covered the importance of kennel management, fly, tick management, all other things, and health management extensively covered by my professor already on the disease conditions. Okay. So 1/3 is properly, beautifully covered. In fact, it is not 1/3, it is the 75% of the dog workshop. It is covered. But what is not told, we are going there. Are you ready? Yeah, let's see. So ask yourself, honestly आप अपने आप से पूछ लीजिए, हम इतने साल काम करते हैं, do we have the real technical knowledge, skill, stamina, endurance and mental alertness needed for this particular job? ट्रेनिंग करियर का मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ ऐसा होता है कि आप ट्रेनिंग करते करते आप खुद को ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं. कुत्ते को ट्रेनिंग करके करके आप खुद को एक ऐसी जगह पे ट्रेनिंग हो रहा है कि यू आर ऑल्सो ट्रेनिंग योर सेल्फ. आपके खुद के अंदर का क्षमता और पेशेंस इज गेटिंग इम्प्रूव्ड. यू आर स्लोली बिकमिंग मोर एंड मोर कंसेप्ट प्रेजेंटली अवेलेबल फॉर द प्रेजेंट मोमेंट. यू आर स्लोली गेटिंग मोर इन ट्यून विथ नेचर. ऐसा नहीं है? आप सुबह से शाम तक डॉग्स के साथ है, सो आप ऐसा करते हैं कि आप एक एक दिन में आप इम्प्रूव होते जा रहे हैं. आप यू डोंट नो, द सेम कंडीशन इज देयर विथ एवरी वेटनरियन हियर. So we are all improving ourselves, we are all learning by ourselves, interacting with these animals. Now, training, the dog is telling, the training me is not an option. It is an obligation. It is not something to be done once I start causing problems. It is how to prevent problems from starting. And teach me how to be the dog you want me to be. Every dog is asking you. Many commands you are giving, the dog is not able to understand. Because our methodologies are wrong. So इसमें, I am sure if I ask the question, all hands will raise. That question is, how many of you have encountered the dog is not obeying you? Particular situation पे, I am giving a command and dog is not able to understand. Majority of the people are not raising the hands, but they are feeling this in the first instance. How many of the dogs have made you in difficult position in demonstration time? 10 बंदे हैं, 9 luckily are doing well job, but the 10th one unfortunately you are holding, sit बोल रहा है, the animal is not doing the sitting position. It is an embarrassment, right? सबको dog training career में one or other way you have gone through this procedure, this particular problem. You either think the dog is not good, easiest explanation, or you can tell that my condition, the training setup is not good, the human resources are not good, I am not in a comfortable, but hardly we say that it is my incompetency. So please understand, the dog is ready to be trained in any way. It is our mistakes that we are not using the proper methodology, and some dogs will test you, some dog will teach you, and some will bring out the best in you. This really happens if you start spending more time with a dog, more than 3 or 5 years with a dog. There are a lot of changes happening in you from the dog. I hope many of you will be able to understand this issue. So let us see scientifically how dogs learn. Not only the dogs, all living beings, from rat to the primates, learn by a particular series of scientific procedures. We will see that thing. So a little bit of history. I'll try to make it interesting because it all started in 1901. So we had better dogs in our history. As Sir has already told about Yudhishthira and his dog, and there were even other examples in which lot of dogs were used extensively, especially Egyptian culture has got a great description of how they manage their dog. There used to be dogs performed almost all the events, even small things, and used as entertainment purpose, and greyhound racing and all started even thousands of years back than we have ever recorded the proper training. So what I want to tell you is that don't think that we are at the top of evolution and we are at the best training methodology you are following. I don't agree with you. The best animal handlers and animal masters were all those people who were living close to the nature, who have known their animal in and out. The animals were the part of their culture. as sir has said already, we never had the habit of keeping the animal in streets. We had seen people, I think last presentation we have told about the fossil in which the dog is held by the man and buried together, because that is most close to him by the time of death. So that was the culture prevail before the technological advancement. So don't think that now we are in the best of the peak of advancements. What I want to tell you is that there are certain theories on the background on which the new dog training is happening. Let us see it one by one. The first important person I have to tell you about is Thorndike. Thorndike series, it started from 1901 to 1905. Then comes classic conditioning, operant conditioning, counter conditioning and desensitization. We will see it one by one. So ये वही बंदा है जिसके हिसाब से I think the training has totally changed. He put the scientific foundation on training. I will tell certain principles, 3-4 theories what he has proposed, which is well valid. I think majority of people sitting here are parents. Majority of them are married and they are parents. So think in context with your child when I show these slides. No difference, absolutely no difference between how a rat learns and a human being learns as far as the theories are concerned. Shall we start? The first theory started in 1901, where this Thorndike's law of effect started. He said, behaviors just prior to a pleasant event are more likely to be repeated, and behaviors just prior to the unpleasant events are more likely to diminish. एक अच्छे environment में just before that, if you perform something in good environment which will give a positive result, it will become a good behavior. And if there is some setbacks in that procedure, it will stop, or the animal will try to get away from that thing. We have a lot of examples. He did all his famous psychology experiment happened in the cat box. Cat box experiment was one thing in which the cat was placed inside the wooden box and it is kept there, and there is a small pad connected to a wire and it is connected to the lock. The cat initially struggled to come outside, but on particular point when it had legs started touching that cardboard piece, it has unbolted the box and the cat came out. And immediately came out, there was food kept. Second time the cat is directly placed inside the box, the cat immediately pressed the cardboard box and came out. So that was the experiment he found out. He tried it in a lot of animals and came to know that whenever there is a pleasant reward for a particular thing, it will be repeated, and there is an unpleasant thing, it will be stopped. Now you think about how you are rearing your children. One or other way this is being followed. This is the first basis and scientific document of the whole dog training or all training sessions in human training also, which is the Thorndike's theory. Now it came, he proposed the second theory called the law of readiness. बहुत simple है, most fundamental चीज़ें हैं. Whenever the subject is physically, mentally and emotionally ready to learn, physically, mentally and emotionally ready to learn, the individual learn quickly with greater satisfaction, and we don't have to force them. You only know very well. आपकी इंटरेस्ट के सब्जेक्ट है, सबसे बढ़िया माहौल में आपको दिया जाएगा, तो you will learn, अपने आप learning हो जाएगा without any force. So he has found out with researchers, with rats, all this finding, and it is the basis of the further training. This is very, very important for you as dog trainers, because you have to create an environment for that. Now, if the child is ready to learn, see, you are given a clear, interesting atmosphere, you told that this is going to happen. Now आपको देना पड़ेगा वो. It's very important that you have to provide the opportunity for providing the best learning. So the learning happens in a very conducive environment, and once you give that conducive environment, you have to give the teaching for that thing. So this can be tried with even children. First make them sensitize. Before you start doing anything, it can be beautifully done in the child rearing sessions. First you have to tell about what actually happens in the end. See, after doing this thing, you will be given this, or this is the happiness that you get, or this is the reward that you are going to get. Now he is ready. Okay, now what? Now you should tell the next step. Finish this thing. Now you have to tell him, he has to identify with him in one or other part of the work, then only he'll be able to produce the result. Next is law of effect. Law of effect says, pleasant satisfying feeling is remembered for a long learning and it is strengthened. Failure or unpleasant feeling, dissatisfaction and progress is blocked and soon forgotten and learning is weakened. I want all of you to think your own life. You have started so many things. बहुत कुछ पढ़ने के लिए कोशिश किया होगा, शुरू किया होगा, including morning walk, whatever it may be. Whatever things you do, you wanted to do in everything. The New Year resolutions you make, मैं इस दिन से मैं ऐसे करने वाला हूँ. But what happens? If it is giving pleasant, satisfying feeling, it will be continued. If it is giving any rejection, you will apne aap, you will have hundreds of lame reasons. It is not working, that is not working, this is not working, and it will end up that thing. So if there is a pleasant, satisfying feeling, it is good for you. If it is not, it is definitely that you are going to stop this thing. Now what he said, if you give a reward for the pleasant, satisfying feeling, the condition will be remembered for a long and the learning is strengthened. And initially he proposed that you have to give a punishment for the failures so that it will be stopped. In 1930, Thorndike again found out with research that this needs to be modified because he found punishment is not going to give any result in the habit of the person. Punishment suppresses and punishment don't remove. I have put a slide in which a human beings, what happens with punishments. You as police officers, every one of you should see that slide and understand what happens if punishment is happening to you. Ultimately what happens. So the Thorndike law says, modifications in 1930 came and said that no need of giving punishment, you give alternatives. अगर ये काम नहीं कर रहा है तो दूसरे रास्ता दे दो, but keep on lying on the positive side. But ये इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ, these are the scientific base of theories, that is Thorndike's third law, which is the law of effect. Now law of multiple responses to or varied reactions, which is seen in हमारे रोज के जिंदगी में, it is very common for us to see this thing, which says that any individual is given a new situation. किसी भी बंदे को एक नया मौका दिया जाएगा, एक नए situation में डाल दिया जाएगा, तो क्या होता है initially? He will respond in variety of ways. He will try to find the solution in different ways, and finally he will arrive at a correct one. So ये trial and error है. आप बहुत सारे चीजें कोशिश करके देखेंगे, finally आप करेक्ट में आ जाएंगे. इसका एक और एग्जाम्पल था कि हाउ द कैट वॉज डूइंग इनिशियली, इट वॉज नॉट डेलिबरेट रिस्पॉन्स, बट दैट इज वन एग्जाम्पल. मंकीज में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हुआ है इसमें कि लॉ ऑफ मल्टीपल रिस्पॉन्स एंड वेरिड रिएक्शंस विल हैपन. नाउ ही हैज गिवन अनदर 3 more laws which is very important. Performance is better if the attitude is healthy towards the task. That is, the dog needs to be conditioned. This training session is ideally for the trainers or the human trainers, which has direct effect on this particular session also. So all you who are going to train any people in any other form will be using these principles. Like you have to performance, the attitude of the person is very important whether he is doing the task. Law of analogy means respond to a new situation is based on the responses made by him in the past. Easiest example, Billy, ubla hua pani. The cat and the boiled water. The cat comes and touches the thing once. ചൂടുവെള്ളത്തിൽ വീണ പൂച്ച എന്ന് പറയും, പിന്നെ പൂച്ച വെള്ളത്തിൻ്റെ പാത്രം കാണുമ്പോഴേ ഓടും. सो दैट इज द लॉ ऑफ एनालॉजी. एक बार आपको जल गया हाथ में, फिर वो उस तरह पे नहीं जाएगा. इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर डॉग ट्रेनिंग. नाउ द थर्ड वन, which is called the laws association shifting. Any response which is possible can be linked with any situation to which when he is sensitive. You are able to train with this law in any situation. The beauty is that you can train any animal. I will show you. You have all seen dog training. Have you seen cat training? Do you think cats can be trained? Operant condition can be beautifully tried on cats. Cats nicely learn. So we have, I think I'll show you that. Now, 3 major types of behavioral learning happens. After that, this is the final theories which have come into position. That is, first thing is neutral similar associated with a natural response. We will tell classic conditioning, operant conditioning and observational learning. इसमें classic conditioning and operant conditioning is 1930s 40s में imply हुआ है, but still it is being tried. Still it is being, आप लोग जो भी कर रहे हैं operant conditioning कर रहे हैं. I don't think nobody is doing that observational learning because it is on a high level of learning. I will show you a video. आप क्या कर रहे हैं उसका scientific basis होना चाहिए आपको. Otherwise you will be just doing certain manual tasks like a computer or robot, not applying your brain. So the main session, I was sure that this theory may not be handled over in any sessions in the country. unless you research this particular area. I was fortunate to be put on this certain task for a few period of time. So when I was told to take this class, I had to brush up and I was able to recollect all these things. So training happens in these three modes. That is classic condition, operant conditioning and observation learning. Let us see it one by one. So learning is a long lasting change in a behavior as a result of experience. Whatever learning hai, this is a long lasting experience. And there are two things, that is what I have to do is classic conditioning and operant conditioning. Kya hai classic conditioning? Classic conditioning in 1901 was told by a scientist called Ivan Pavlov, which is called as Pavlov's reflex, a Russian scientist. What he had found is, he had took a bell and a feed and a dog. हर बार जब कुत्ते के सामने फूड आ जाएगा, he used to ring a bell. So whenever the food is there, dog is showing salivation. फूड देखते ही सलाइवा आना शुरू होता है, उस टाइम पे घंटी भी बजेगा. So we have three things: the bell, food and the dog. So initially the food is being sensitized and the animal is just salivating, but the bell is just there. Later he found out, if you remove the most important thing, that is the food, he just show the bell and ring, saliva is coming. Now this is called conditioned response and conditioned stimulus. So that is the difference between these two. That is, if you can even remove the food in between, they are just doing a sound and then the animal is performing. This is the classic conditioning theory. इसके बाद next is operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is the training procedure which is adopted by many, almost all the training firms in the country, including police, and yesterday what our sir was telling about exploitative detection and everything is operant conditioning. Operant conditioning, it needs an in-depth class. I don't think I can cover it within, even in 5 hours is not sufficient for operant conditioning. I'm just giving a glimpses of this training. If you want an advanced training, we have to discuss separate sessions. On operant conditioning, 1, 2, 3, up to 11 sessions are there. And how you can impart scientifically operant conditioning on animals. Now the first thing I have to tell you is regarding this. Operant conditioning reinforces. Certain behavior keep recurring. Certain behaviors extinguish. Certain behaviors को कोई फर्क नहीं होता. Let us see it. It was discovered by B.F. Skinner in 1938. So it is a continuation of the classic conditioning. Like what the cat box he used initially, Thorndike, now he used something called a Skinner box. There used to be a rat which is kept inside a box. उसके अंदर two buttons are there, red and green. The rat is moving around and searching for the food. Accidentally, its paw hit on the green button. One food particle has come. Next time, हर बार ये press करेगा, it is getting food. So he knows that food is, yeah. Now cat continuously pressing the lever and he is getting food. Rat. Now the same thing is being repeated in another way. A rat is put inside a box. There is shock inside. Low volt shock is given and the rat is jumping around trying to find a solution. Accidentally its hand hit on a particular switch and it stopped. 3 times you try, the 4th time, the moment the cat is put inside, even without the shock box also, the cat is searching for that particular switch to avoid the unpleasant feeling. So एक था कुछ रिवॉर्ड मिलने के लिए, दूसरे था पनिशमेंट से बचने के लिए. दिस इज द अल्टीमेट बेसिस ऑफ डॉग ट्रेनिंग. अगर ये आपके समझ में आ गया क्लियरली, now you can develop your own methods in different forms, but please understand how it happens to you, how it happens in your personality when you try these things. So this is the scientific base. Now see, when it just touched, it is stopping. This is called negative reinforcement. इसका कहानी का दूसरे एपिसोड भी है, that we will see after few slides. Another interesting funny thing, what happens after some time, what happens if the switch is not working? Very interesting learning. We will see it later. Now whatever training you are happening so far, human beings have developed is in this 4 box. This is a very important thing. All of you can take note of this particular thing. Entire dog training is summarized on this particular slide, which says Positive reinforcement is giving a dog to treat immediately once he sit down. You are telling sit. When it sit, you are giving a training. That it is a positive reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is that the owner holds the leash tight. आप tight पकड़ेंगे leash को नीचे का down I am telling. When the animal sits, you relieve. So every time you just hold tight, the animal will sit. Next thing, positive punishment. Dogs jumps up. The dog is jumping. You are pulling the collar. The dog is getting stabilized. The last one, the dog is jumping instead of sitting. So you just turn your back and just go. You are clearly even saying that this is what I want and I am not with you. The dog is behaving properly, which is an advanced training which happens in the last session. ये आपको जैसे ही आपके समझ में आ रहा है आप नोट कर लीजिए in your own way, in your own things, and you cannot learn it in this single slide. घर में जाइए, you go through this once again and again and try to see what exactly is there. And with dogs you can try all these 4 things, and this is happening even with the human learning also. So this is operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is the basis of all dog training. Let us see now positive reinforcement of operant conditioning क्या होता है. अपना dog है, okay. You are telling sit. The dog is sitting. You are giving a treat. You are giving the treat to the dog. आप अपना reward दे दिया उनको. बोला वो sit कर रही, it is sitting and you are giving a okay. Next is negative reinforcement is very clear. You are telling sit, the dog is not doing anything. What you do? You raise the collar, give a pressure. What happens? The dog is choked. उसको मालूम है मैं कोई कुछ भी करूं, he is not going to leave, because you should not leave. You press the backside and make the animal sit and leave. Now he knows I have to sit. Second time pe, it is called escape training or negative reinforcement. I am telling this thing because why dog training fails is because you keep mixing these two. You keep mixing these two without knowing, and you give 2 types of conditioning to a dog who cannot be trained in these 2 ways. So trainers fail miserably if a particular task you cannot mix. Mixed task you can definitely give. So for a sit command you are giving a food. The animal is directly relating to that particular food and what are things. Or the clicker training, I will tell you what clicker training is that. So with even that sound it will click. Yesterday Mr. Ramesh was beautifully performing the operant conditioning by clicker training. That clicker training is voice command that he has given. We'll see the video and see. So what happens is that the sound will act as an indication. Even without the reward, it will do. Reward necessarily need not be the food, it can be even a ball. So we'll see it later. थोड़ा सा difficult concepts है, but so if you have that foundation of basics, it will help you for that thing. So यही again I am telling, I am repeatedly showing these slides because this is very important on reinforcement and punishing. It can be positive output and negative output. ये चारों चीज में होता है entire dog training. Counter conditioning. Counter conditioning means the dog is already having an issue like it is afraid of other dogs. Counter conditioning is seen in case of socialized dogs. आपके group में 10 puppy हैं, पर one particular puppy is not comfortable with others. It is not taking food with others. So how you train it is by means of counter conditioning, in which you have to learn, you have to slowly take the animal with other dogs, 1 or 2 dogs, and start giving feeding with the presence of 2 dogs, 3 dogs, and finally around 3 or 4 sessions the dog will start taking. Yeah. And another important thing is repeatability. Every trained session needs to be repeated. How much you should repeat? Definitely it should be a question from your side. It depends upon the particular task and the particular attitude and the age of the animal. We will have a discussion later on this particular doubts. Next is desensitization. A very important training strategy in army dogs. I think one of my PhD student, Dr. Gayatri, has yesterday pointed out this particular issue. She was asking that how a dog is getting trained to work in an explosive detection work. How the dog is working in the most difficult situations. So the desensitization means we play low background music. Not music, the sounds of crackers, the sounds of thunders. If the animal is having a problem, you have to carry your own voice box or a system with you. You especially are working with the mobs. You have to slowly play the sound while you're performing the training, so that when it is kept into the real scenario, it keeps working well. So this is called a desensitization. Desensitization training, advanced training methodology in desensitization also there. Particularly for particular task it has been developed. American police force, American armed forces, canine training center is there. They are supposed to be the pioneers. They have developed lots of techniques to be trained for this particular training, desensitization training. Matlab the dog is good in a good atmosphere. You are with the dog, not much difficulty, but the moment is going in field, in difficult situation, the performance level has dipped, because it is afraid of the sound or any particular thing, and you have to take care of that by slowly sensitizing it so that it won't be afraid of this particular thing. Simple things, maybe we are finding difficulty in speak in front of others initially. हम पहले बहुत पैर कामते थे, we are not able to speak. थोड़े address को, you started addressing few people, later you are able to now speak. So the same way, you have to keep on this desensitization thing throughout the training periods. Now, I said there is another part of the punishment. What happens with punishment? Do you think punishment can improve someone? Punishment is just contextual and for that particular time only. No punishment is going to give a result if the result or the real effect of the punishment is brought to the full attention of the person who has committed the mistake. Unfortunately, none of the persons, whether alive or whatever in any species, will definitely take it as his own mistake. He will attribute the mistakes to the people around him or his peers or whoever it is there with me, or with that particular time. So for the time being, he will respond, which is a learned response, and it will come back after years. Just see what happens to this little girl who is playing video game. You know what happens after 70 years? When get a chance, she feels like playing a video game which she is not able to play at that time. This is just an example of particular suppressed punishments. What happens when it is keep coming out in a particular atmosphere, environment, it keep flaring up. Next thing is unrewarded behaviors get extinct. I said about our rat who used to press buttons for food. Skinner's rat experiment. He was pressing button, getting pellet, pressing button, getting food every time. When he started pressing, nothing is coming. Do you think the rat is fooled to keep on pressing full time? वो अपने आप बंद करेगा ही, and every rat will stop pushing. The same thing happens with the human training also. Unless you feed it continuously, it will stop. Unfortunately, this is happening with the human relations also. I feel all the interest in the animal behavior has come from the interest in the human behavior. First training we all get is in the human behavior, extensively trained in human behavior during the army career. And if you show interested in human behavior, they will put you into special training. Luckily I got it in RVC on man management and HR training. So what happens here is, they will give you clearly about how the conditioning happens for a soldier who is working on a field. See, the task is, I have to prepare my troop to go to the borders and battle. So the orders will come at any time. It may be 12 o'clock also. So what is that which make the people to come out fully prepared for that thing? So we were trained for that. So what we have found out is that it is the self-esteem of the person that is the only tool which can be raised up so that the person can work in that particular occasion. We will see it when it comes to the human psychology slides. Now, the unlimited possibilities of behavior experiment is that, see, if a rat can learn or unlearn a behavior at different rates with different schedules of reinforcement, what all the dogs cannot, you can think, what all things the dog can be made to train. We have not even done even 1% of the dog's potential. Please understand that. You can show the dogs being performed on different way, but the possibilities are unlimited when we compile these principles. Now the 4 pillars of the positive training include: use positive reinforcement, avoid the use of intimidation or physical punishment or fear, understand the misconception of dominance theory, I will explain dominance theory, and learn about the canine experience from the dog's point of view. These are the 4 pillars of the training. We will see. Let me tell you about the dominance theory. Dominance theory is a very important theory in training. They say that the dog are dominant creatures. They have evolved from the wolf. Wolf are pack animals. Hamesha they grow in groups. So they have a natural instinct to find out an alpha leader. So if the trainer can become an alpha leader, he can take control of the whole dog pack. Samajh rahe ho aap? I have 10 dogs with me. Can I become the alpha male of the group? मैं कुत्ता अगर बन सकता हूँ, तो I can control the dog better than anyone. This is the scientific principle behind the dominance theory. You will be amazed to see a video how a boy can take care of 10 German shepherds. He is just making the animals walk with his fingertips. I will show you the video. So dominance theory क्या है? You should be able to clear. You are trying to becoming the alpha male. इसमें there are do's and don'ts. First don'ts. Never sit at the level of the dog's eye. A human dominance needs to be established in every form of training. There is a person called Cesar Millan, which can be seen in National Geography channel. He is a dog whisperer, basically the person who train the dogs, aggressive dogs training. So he get the case studies in which the dog so and so named is having a problem of aggressive biting, even the owner. तो उसको दुर्गुण पाठशाला में हो रहे हैं. It is taken to a hospital with him, left him 1 month with him, and he will make the dog a wonderful dog out of that dog and give back to the owner. It's a very beautiful video. Series of videos are available. Cesar Millan. Cesar Millan, if you type in YouTube, all dog trainers will get wonderful things. But before referring Cesar Millan, understand he is using the principle of dominance theory. आपको dominance theory practical करने के लिए आपके police force में not permitted, if I am right. Because dominance theory works in different dimensions. If you want, you can integrate in what particular region, we will find out where you can do. You are strictly following operant conditioning. आप verbal commands के बीच में जाते हैं, but you can do this dominance theory provided you are given a dog for the another 10 years. मिल सकता है? Will you get a dog attached to you for another 10 years or throughout the career के लिए आपको एक dog मिलता है? Then you can definitely try dominance theory, dominance training right from the beginning. It is possible. Let's see. These are the different advanced theories of training. The one which I said about Thorndike's and all this thing has come. Now the real training happens. First thing is alpha dominance. If you can be that alpha male of the pack, you can definitely take care of the entire dogs. क्या कर सकते हैं उसके लिए? That we'll see later. It is not easy. Second principle is called positive reinforcement, in which you give reward to whatever you do with the dog. You give reward. You know, you'll be carrying the reward always in your pocket. You give sit, you give a reward. So it is related to the reward, and majority of the training happens with this reward. The first condition, it is not the reward. It is the behavioral modification, and the dog is following its leader. It's a wonderful training method, but you have to be in the next level. Only very few people who have already mastered themselves to an extent their level can do this alpha training. Alpha trainers are really people who have already trained themselves to that level. Scientific training is a very latest concept. I have put it in third slide, but we can see scientific training is nothing but behavior. Advanced research in behavior, and a simple example is that an aggressive dog, pit bull dogs, which is biting every person, cannot handle anyone. The owner cannot take care of the animal. Oh, एक कुत्ता है जिसको कोई handle नहीं कर सकता है, not even is their owner. How they are going to train is by means of scientific methods. Lot of factors they see, where the animal, what the animal sees, what the animal hears, and how the animal responds. You should be able to know. Then you adopt a training, which is a very advanced method of training. I will show you a video of this particular training method also. Just understand there is something called scientific training. Clicker training is a training which is most popular, and what you people are doing is specifically clicker training. Instead of that click sound, you are using particular sound, gestures, and sound and gestures combinations. So this subject is so depth, and I cannot come back. It cannot be completed in particular time. So I'm just brushing this particular topic and going. So this is what happens with clicker training, is that there is a sound. So you are telling Jimmy, sit, give that sound. Immediately it sit, you are giving reward. So sit followed by sound. Sit, sound, feed, sit, sound, reward, sit, sound, reward. It keeps going repeated. Next time clicking, no need of any other things. So it is a operant conditioning mode which is happening in case of clicker training. Electronic training is an advanced mode of training in which you can remotely control the collar. There is a low shock given for the wrong thing. So it is a negative reinforcement. You remember that boxes? That negative reinforcement जिसको बोलते हैं, अगर आप the animal is doing some mischief and you want to control, if you just press, a shock will come and it will stop doing. So advantages is it can be effectively used. It is not as harmful as we think. Very low volt shock is there. Disadvantage is that 10 बार shock होने के बाद इसको कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता वो. You can't increase also. So you have to use in certain particular situations only. So that is one thing. And next is model rival or mirror training. Again, an advanced scientific method. Model rival or river training is that the handler will become a model for the animal. Advanced training methodology. You first make the animal sit with you. You do some action, give the feed. You do again the action, give the feed. You slowly keep the dog with you, what you do, and give the feed. Next, you don't give the feed. The dog will look at you and look at your hands and try to perform what you are doing. And the moment he performs, you give the feed. We have video. I will show you. So this is also happening. Please understand that. Next is relationship-based training. Again, advanced training, which requires the participation of all the people. Especially this is done in case of groups where a family needs to be counseled for dogs, which happens in abroad countries. So this is an advanced mode of training that you can do. But ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आप लोग operant condition में ही है, और operant conditions के advanced possibilities भी आपको पास हैं. So let me just see the alpha dog. All these training methods can be seen in that video. Can you just increase sound?
Leader of the pack, Augusto de Oliveira
training.
became an internet star after
what he's
uploading
doing.
this video of himself walking unleashed dogs through a quiet town, showing an amazing bond with his animals. But today,
He's the
he's
alpha
raising
male.
the stakes by attempting to repeat the feat on busy city streets.
Griffin, here, Savannah. Come on, Tifa.
This is what he,
Augusto
how
grew
he
up on a
lives.
farm in Brazil with dozens of dogs, and he
He's a
learned
wolf.
from a young age to communicate with them.
Wait.
Today, he lives, breathes, and even sleeps with his pack.
High five.
As part of his work, running Griffin Shepherd kennels.
My dogs know me as part of the pack. I spend a lot of time with them. I feed them. I let them out. I exercise them. I do everything with them.
Augusto has decided to try the unleashed pack, walking in a busy environment the dogs aren't used to.
Today I'm taking my pack for a walk in Boston, Massachusetts. Sit, Hannah. I have Hannah, Jenna, Harmony, Griffin, Priscilla, and Savannah today. I start with my dogs on the leash, get them used to the position they have to walk in and to stay by my side before I
If
start
you
to let them
closely observe, you
off
can
leash.
see few dogs are
Then,
looking
one
at
by
him
one,
first.
Augusto lets the dogs
They are the
off their
second line
leads,
alphas,
keeping
the advanced
each one under
message.
control in a distracting environment.
In his absence, he
And
has
as you can
found
see,
that
they
some
have to
dogs will
remain
take
the
its
same
charge.
position
You
as
can't
us.
even
I
think
change
human
now.
intelligence is incapable to explain this dog
Eventually,
intelligence.
all 6 German Shepherds successfully walk into heel,
Here.
Can we think of our dogs walking like this?
and the dogs are proving a big hit with the Bostonians.
I would love to have a dog as well behaved, replicate what he does. You can tell that these dogs are amazingly well trained.
So this is a
They're calm.
classical
He has
example of
complete control
alpha
of
dog
them.
training.
Yeah.
Cesar Millan
I love
is one of
spending
the
time with
person
my
who was
dogs. Just feel
working
like there's so much
extensively
I
on
can
this
do with
work.
them. I can spend time training
And they
them.
do
I can
like
spend
this.
time just taking them places. I can spend time playing with them. I never get tired of it.
After a hard day's work, the pack grab the first chance they can for a well-earned nap.
Dogs had fun.
Yeah, they're all tired as you can see.
Clicker training. Watch this carefully. आप जो कर रहे हैं उसमें थोड़ा सा modifications आप वीडियो के बाद आप कर सकते हैं because you only know how you are performing. This is what you are doing. She explains. She is having a clicker. आप क्लिकर इसलिए यूज कर रहे हैं क्योंकि क्लिकर का साउंड स्टेबल होता है.
As you can see,
It cannot be
I'm
changed.
either
If you
hand
use a
feeding
vocal
him
sound,
treats,
it keeps changing.
or I'm throwing it on the ground and clicking just before he eats the treat. This is building up an association between the click sound and the food reward. Now, some dogs pick this up, make the association quicker than others. So it really depends on your dog's progress, how many times you have to do this. You can see I'm not using the clicker like a remote control. I have the clicker behind my back
She's hiding the clicker.
so that
actually.
I'm not using it like a remote control right in front of me, sticking it into the dog's face like I'm turning on a television, because I don't want the dog to get scared of the noise or of the object in my hand.
Now she slowly start giving the commands.
You can build this up over a period of minutes, hours, or a few days. When you start teaching the dog to make the association between the click and the reward,
So first
I
few
advise you
weeks
to use
only
your dog's
clicking
food
and feeding.
for this.
No
'Cause
commands.
if you feed your dog too many treats, you don't want your dog to put on weight and you don't want your dog to get sick. So the best thing is to use your dog's food you don't otherwise get in a meal to do this training. If your dog's not really motivated by the food that he eats at meal times, like it's just boring kibble, mix the kibble with something of higher value, like chicken.
Now here comes the importance of giving a training time schedule.
When your dog has
വയറ്
made the
നിറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത്
association
training
between
ഉണ്ടായാൽ
sound
ഒരു
and
dog'ും
reward,
respond
you can then
ചെയ്യില്ല.
begin to teach him
It
different
happens
action
in a
cues
starving
using clicker.
atmosphere. Best trainings happens in starving atmosphere. Now you see the commands on sit starts.
I'm waiting for him to put his bottom on the ground. And when he does, he's going to get the treat. As soon as he puts his bottom on the ground,
അത്
I click and I treat
ഇരിക്കുന്നത്
him.
വരെ കൊടുക്കുന്നില്ല. See the amount of patience that you should have. Yeah.
Now I'm going to give the cue word to
हो
him
गया.
as he's in the
अगली बार
process
जब
of
भी
putting
ये
his
होता
bottom
है,
on
it
the
will be
ground.
you can use characteristic whistling. Depends upon the individual way. You
Sit.
don't have to use a clicker.
Boy.
You can use a sound for this particular thing, and you can train it. Best
Sit.
training happens
Good
from 6
boy.
months, 4 months, 6 months puppy and all. You can beautifully train with this clicker training. And the dogs can be very well trained by this particular
Sit.
clicker type of
Good
training.
boy.
Yes. Now he's almost completed. Sitting associated with this training.
Now he's made the association between the word, the action, and the reward. I'm going to ask him to SIT and show you the whole process. Sit. Good boy.
See.
Sit. Good
Yeah.
boy.
Now you can remove the click.
Now he's getting used to the sound. I can use my clicker right close to me here,
Next
so I
step
don't
is
always
showing
have
the
to have
click
it
to
behind
the
my
dog.
back. Good boy. You can use the clicker for any kind of action cue that you want to teach your dog. The reason why it's so good is this is a unique sound that is difficult to repeat in everyday life. It also is processed in the brain a lot faster than even your reward word. Clicker training is really great for shaping a particular behavior or a series of behaviors. So if you want your dog to, for example, sit, lie down, sit up, stand up, walk, go, you will be able to shape these behaviors by using the clicker.
This is model rival technique, a very funny technique. You may feel funny, but it's a highly effective. See, I know the time is closing to the lunch time. There are a lot of issues. So try to be attentive. We don't have any other option. See, ആ രണ്ട് ബോട്ടിൽ വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. Okay. Now you observe what happens. Now it's up to you. Some fellows will learn in 10 or 20, some will require 100. क्योंकि उसको concept पता नहीं है, क्योंकि not because the dog is fool, maybe your technique is foolish. The dog's average intelligence keeps to be stationary in certain conditions, but you have to modify the training. Now it's again slow motion, they are showing how it is happening and how it is happening. It's not like you have to take his hand and touch it. Never do that. Patience का ऐसा होता है, sometimes you feel like stopping and don't do that. You have to wait for the animal to come that level, and once that learning is happened, it will be there forever, if provided you give this training continuously for that particular time. So that is aggressive dog training is another this is this ultimate scientific behavioral correction. One of the participants, can I raise your hand, sir, please? Somebody came and showed me a advanced training of aggression, what he is doing. I have taken the video also. कौन था जो मेरे पास आया था और बताया था कि आपका ट्रेनिंग है? अच्छा आपको बाद में ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഇവരെയൊക്കെ ട്രെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നതിന് നമ്മളുടെ ഓർഡിനറി ട്രെയിനിങ് ടെക്നിക്സ് പോരാ. So already the animal is misbehaved, not allowing anybody to go nearby. Now you have to apply the scientific principle of advanced behavior for training. Now you see he has repeated biting and aggression in extreme form for this particular dog. Now what is the challenge? This is a real challenge for the trainer. Here you remember the first behavior session we said about approaching a dog. All these things were applied, and before that the animal will stop barking before you start. So the trainer has literally wait nearly half a day, 6 hours in front of the dog to make the dog comfortable and stop barking and take the next step.
Using the catch pole for safety.
Now he is using
bring him into our training room and
snare.
Just sort of hang out with him. There's no major requirement here. We're not.
Another 3 days is walking in the room.
We're not trying to maneuver him in any particular way. We're simply hanging out with him in the room, letting him walk where he wants to walk, letting him sniff things and explore, and simply get used to our presence.
In between he give treats. So समझ में आएगा कि he's okay.
If I start to get a decent vibe from the dog, I'll trust my gut and I'll remove the catch pole.
Now he removes. There is a high threat of getting a bite. Now there is something called a bite guard, which is kept always
behind the place board, using it as a barrier between me and the dog. Again,
he calls one more person to join at this particular stage.
One of the key principles to remember about this exercise is that we
and
have
here
no
the principle of neglect is done in case of aggression dogs. You have to neglect the dog. The dog is aggressive and is showing his aggression. If you neglect that, the aggression will become half.
It's the first time that Dudley actually engages with me and looks as though he wants to interact.
So this process happens for nearly 1 day.
Food as part of this process, right there. I don't use food prior to this moment because it would amount to me putting expectations
now the scientific
on the dog.
behavior principles, in-depth knowledge of behavior and above all observation skills is being applied here.
When he's ready to engage.
On 4th day you can start obedience training to the dog. Funny part. See? The same dog.
Good boy. Yes. Break. Good boy, Duds.
Now we started enjoying the training sessions. Now learning happens because of, remember the law of effect theory? The subject is ready to get trained. Now you simply push on. Now you teach as much as possible only after this stage. और जैसे हमारे पास आते हैं उसको if you start putting snare and telling them to sit and other things, nothing will happen. Let it settle, come back to normal, then you start your routine. At this stage, you have to spend maximum time. Now he is trying to trim. The dog is not fully happy, but still he is adjusted. Now feeding aggression happens when the animal is feeding. Nobody is allowed to come nearby. But that also they get it trained. See?
Good boy.
And after 4th week, means 1 mahina, बाद the animal will become almost like a normal dog and is handed over. So you all are experienced trainers. Take something positive from these videos and try to start putting whatever things you feel like in certain situations you can use all these things. Certain situations. The funny part with this police dog training is that not only police dog training, in almost all clinical interventions is that the moment you start SOPs, the whole natural intelligence goes. आप बोलेंगे step 1 से 10 तक गिनना चाहिए and it happens. I am totally against these procedures. Never ever in the world the SOPs for clinical procedures are established. It is only for procedures for interventions. Like small techniques, there are 10 steps. Small techniques, there are steps. But clinical diagnosis, behavioral training and all are instinctual one that you have to adopt it with your own way. But of course you can follow certain guidelines, but you cannot make a training procedure on how to train a dog, 10 steps. Not possible. Every dog is different. But you can always say how to approach a dog. Ab bataiye. You can always make. How to go near a dog, you can make an SOP. But training a dog SOP will become fail like anything. That's why still the science is not able to be progress in the proper way that we required. All best dog trainers are wonderful people who know the art of communication with the animals. Now, I will now go to the last sessions. The first, now it is all self-explanatory for you. The first thing that you need is a trainer. Justin, can I have another 10 more minutes? Patience. Justice. Creativity, you include all those things. Observation skills, how much improving you are doing, and flexibility. See, the dog is ready only at the night for getting trained. Already, and the animal is to be trained. It's almost appetite is also okay. That now it is sensitive for the feed that you are giving. Can you give a training in that sessions? The PT period, morning period, everything is only for human beings. Our cycle of clock is ready. You can get the dog, do this thing, provided the dog is fully trained. Still the big issue happens because of the work schedule management of dogs. It is a big topic. Half of the dog get exhausted before a VIP visit. Half of the dogs fail in performing a task before the real condition happens. You know why? VIP is coming by 11 o'clock. You and your dog are reaching there by 9 o'clock. Or 8 o'clock, the dog is already ready and getting prepared, and you are also prepared by 6 o'clock. Vinod sir has told the dog sleeps more than 12 hours a day. The dog has already slept 4 hours or 5 hours. Plus it is exhausted, totally down, digestion complications, animal is having respiratory distress, internal heat build up, animal want to simply escape from that moment, that time VIP comes. So this is very important. We call it pre-work and post-work conditioning. So you always take the dog sufficiently early, but the animal should be fully relaxed for the time of this work. Now, confidence, of course, there is no replace for this particular word. It is all your confidence. अगर आप मानते हैं कि आप कर सकते हैं, definitely it is possible. Ways and means will simply be opened in front of you if you are ready for this confidence. And humility, of course, be humble. Don't try to impose the training as if you are the owner and I am the handler. It's not like that. The dog needs to be carefully handled, and you have to be, of course, बोलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You will be fully sweat, treats in the pocket. पूरे जो है मिट्टी में होगा आपका पूरा दिन, but you start enjoying because this is your job. Then only the reward happens. An open mind. See, I am in a group. The other person is doing some wonderful technique. यार generally situation है यार मैं सालों से बना हुआ technique है मेरा, no use. He has done something out of it, 2 years experience, some wonderful thing. If you are able to open up your mind and say, yaar kya kar raha hai tu? Badhiya hai. Let me include that also to my technique. Now my technique will be the best. We all are human beings. There is a big limitations, and our own ego is the greatest limitation for any our progress. So if you are not checking at this stage, the best trainers fail miserably. In short, a positive trainer is the one who avoids the use of pain, fear, punishment, both in his tool and techniques. And positive trainer will rely on the power of positive enforcement combined with the understanding of animal behavior. And you should have a consideration to the dog. I said about VIP duties. We call it 5 freedom of animal welfare. Every animal needs to be given 5 freedoms. These 5 freedoms to be employed, and only you can ensure this 5 freedom. I will give you that clear one. Freedom from hunger and thirst. Freedom from discomfort, freedom from pain, injury and disease, freedom to express normal behavior, and freedom from fear and distress. How best you are able to give these freedoms, you will become a best trainer. So please try seeing the animal as a separate entity. And of course there are police dogs in army, US Army are supposed to be the best because of their schedules. Once the puppy is given, the whole life of the trainer is with that dog only. It sleeps, everything. They say even the wife of the dog handler won't be able to be spend that much time with how the dog is spending. The dog is an integral part of that life. So that the dog, see, the alpha training is definitely done there also. What is the command? It will be done. And the faithfulness is beyond what we can tell. And of course, there is something called compassion, which needs to be the first thing that you have to be there. The point is, it is researchers have showed, जो बंदा जिसके अंदर एनिमल के लिए कंपैशन है, definitely they are high better than many of the people. The reason being, it is one of the finest evolved qualities in the human beings. How many peoples you have seen who are scared of dogs? छूते नहीं है dogs को, who are just try aversion for the dogs. So you are very lucky that you are already in a very good phase of your evolution. Now, सीधा साधा है, every dog has only 4 moods. उससे आगे कोई discuss नहीं किया है, not even developed also. Very clearly, either it is happy, sad, cross, or it concentrating. सीधी बात है. What all moods a human beings have, I don't have to tell you. दिन के एक घंटे में क्या क्या होता है, तो 24 घंटे में कितने phases के through जा रहे हैं हम लोग, so you can understand. So, one dog, one handler concept has proved to be successful everywhere. You are not controlling it with leash, you are controlling the dog with your heart. It is advanced level of training that you can reach in this particular scenario. Now, next is, it is a very touching word which I have found. The dog is telling, my eyes are your eyes, to watch and protect you and yours. My ears are your ears, to hear and detect the evil minds in dark. My nose is your nose, to send the invader of your domain, and so you may live. My life is also yours. मेरा आँख, मेरा कान, मेरा नाक और मेरा पूरा जिंदगी आपका ही है. So who will tell like this? Which creature can tell like this? Now, I have a video which I couldn't play last time. Of course, sir couldn't play about the last time about somebody who has lost the dog very badly during training session. So we'll hear his experience after this session. Now, characteristics of a successful service dog trainer. One or two things I will tell about every point. You should have a stable medical condition. Don't come to the profession if you are medically unfit. The medical condition by being that you should be able to move your hand and body very clearly. You should be able to use your mental status clearly. And like all in the police forces, jobs in the police and military and paramilitary forces, unless you are healthy, you cannot take care of the health of any other person. Good observational skill is a number one fundamental thing. Good people, but fail very badly in training because of their poor observational skills. Next is problem solving skill. Every dog is a problem. He poses problem to you to impose the training, and you have to be a good problem solving skill. And finally, good record keeping habits. ये आपको पता दिया होगा already, you know the things. You should be aware about the record of the entire record of your dog. And finally, you should have a strong work ethics, patience, ability to work with own dog with little supervision, and have a genuine love and respect for the animals. I don't want to elaborate on any of these points. You are already showing this thing. And last one I would like to tell, it is a lifelong business. So with every dog you are improving, and with every, you are dealing with that animal which has unconditional love and support for you, which is very difficult to get many of the other people. So I think each one of you is a winner who is sitting in front of me, who is in this dog training career. Self-motivation and stress management. Last few slides and I will stop it. Won't take more than 5 minutes. And which is the most important portion of my topic. We have completed the technologies or the technical paraphernalia of training. Now we come to the self qualities that you require, and we come to the stress management. There is a great difference between working dogs with house guard training. You have already seen. Now I just want to have 1 or 2 points regarding the challenges. आपको अगर ये पूछा जाएगा कि what is the most great challenge that you feel in field? Can somebody answer? It career में सबसे बड़ा challenge आपको क्या लगा है? All those who have put in 10+ year service should be able to give a feedback at this stage. Feel free to tell. इतने साल काम करने के बाद आपके हिसाब से सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज आपको क्या लग रहा है इस करियर का? प्लीज सर.
ऐसा लगता है कि हर एक डॉग नहीं होता, हर एक जो नया डॉग आता है या कोई डॉग है वो हमें कुछ ना कुछ नया सिखा के जाता है. वो सीखना, उससे सीखना और हम उसको सिखाना, और फिर ये सीखने के बाद में हम वहीं नहीं रुकते. आगे नया डॉग आएगा, फिर हमें कुछ ना कुछ और सिखा के जाएगा, और सिखा के जाएगा. तो इसमें और सीखने की जो प्रवृत्ति है वो.
Very wonderful, sir. Thank you. See, a mechanic can become a wonderful mechanic by repairing 5 or 6 cars. Around 10-20 cars, if you repair it properly, you will become at least good with everything, every part of the car. You can even become a good doctor or a surgeon by just working for, say, around 5-20 years, 10 years. If you work, you will be able to perform something, and everything is there. But when it comes to the behavioral psychologist or a trainer or a teacher, the challenge comes, because to make the people understand what you are really, it is unique. Every audience is different. Every dog is different. Everyone who is receiving the training from you is different. That is the flavor of the job. That's why I said, और कोई दूसरे जॉब में नहीं है, वो आपके पास है. That is, you are learning well. So आपको अपने आप हुनर होना चाहिए. That is one of the wonderful profession you are in. Thank you, sir. Any other things? Then we'll move on to the next slide. दोपहर पे टाइम पे और कुछ नहीं आएगा. हाइपोग्लाइसीमिया होता है ब्रेन में. So I know now this is what you are going through. Let me tell about few slides and I will wind up. That is stress. See, हर जॉब में स्ट्रेस है. Every person is having one or other way stress. So आपको पता है 50 साल पहले हम क्या थे और अभी हम क्या है, इसमें आप बता नहीं सकता. और now our life is full of stress because of the technical advancement. मोबाइल के आने से ही स्ट्रेस बहुत बढ़ गया है. In fact, 10 times of what it was there before also. Now what exactly is stress? Can you name any person who is not having stress? एक बंदा अपने ज़िंदगी में कभी भी स्ट्रेस फ्री हो सकता है. Have you ever seen a person who is stress free? कब? Very good. वो तब होता है, मैं बता दूंगा. The only person who is not having a stress is the dead person. तब तक तो मिलते ही रहेंगे. So get ready, either you die of stress or you manage the stress. Option is yours. Okay, let us see around a few techniques which will help you. So definitely right time to teach you, because you all are stressed. So you are in the law of effect is 100% effective here. My students or the audience are ready for the next level, with your permission. Now, stress is termed as a 20th century syndrome. What exactly is stress? It is body's reaction towards the physical and emotional changes in life. So I am keeping you for 2 hours here. You can see the body is tight. You wanted to go out. You are stressed, naturally. If I torture you with my lecture, you are not. You are going for the emotional stress. Right examples. Next, it is a psychological and physiological imbalance demanding circumstances and individuals' ability to meet those needs. There are some people with the body language, I can say, I can take up more information from me. They have already stopped taking information from me. They have already slept and woke up 3-4 people. I can see. It's natural. We are all human beings. So that is stress. Now, the source of stress can be of many things. For a dog handler's career or anybody in an organization, the career can be within the organization and outside the organization. Within the organization में सीधी सी बात है, the person we are interacting with are the main source of stress. अपने peers से अपने साथी है जो काम करते हैं, and they will be the main source of stress and encouragement for us. So it is just like workload. आपका काम के हिसाब से workload होगा जब you are not able to get sufficient and poor working condition and career concern. अगर आपके job shift नहीं है, fixed नहीं है, permanent नहीं है, आपके तनख्वाह सही नहीं है, आपको nobody in the world feels that his salary is perfect. So but still, if somebody feels that I am underpaid, everything is going to be a stress. और आपको एक काम दिया गया है, उसके साथ में आपको दूसरा और काम दिया गया है. Dog is given to you, along with that you are told to do something else. No clear guidance. Naturally you will become stressed. That is within the organization. और सबसे बड़ा परेशानी क्या होता है घर में? घरवाली, very good, बीवी. और जिसको ladies है, जिसके husbands. Because the expectation, I'm not telling, I'm not joking. There is a science proved that the expectation is the one that causes big stress. The expectation from the opposite sex are very high, especially in the human relations. The expectation become to that level that it is like a conditioned reflex. You start expecting the same attention and the same situation what you were doing right from the beginning. और सालों पहले आप क्या थे वो आपको continuously maintain करना पड़ेगा. Whether whatever you are going through doesn't make any difference. Okay? Now I don't tell too much on this topic. So this is the situation faced by every person. So this is expectation matchup is definitely one of the. मान लो आप we are struggling from the household and then coming back and taking your job. You are bringing the stress to the organization. आप कहाँ पे ठोकेगा पूरा अपने juniors के ऊपर. And I scold one fellow with a very bad harsh word of the things that has happened from my wife. Now he will take it up and spread to the other thing. Finally it will reach to his wife. See how beautiful is the cycle, wife to wife cycle of stress. It happens in the other way also. So what I want to tell you is that you cannot get escape from this thing. There is something called eustress and stress. Any idea what is eustress? E-stress नहीं है, वो topic हो गया. We already covered e-stress. It is eustress. यूस्ट्रेस वही है परीक्षा के टाइम पे, एग्जाम के टाइम पे जो आपको एक डर होता है, उस डर के वजह से आप पढ़ते हैं. द पॉजिटिव इवेंट ऑफ ए स्ट्रेस इज कॉल्ड यूस्ट्रेस. आई से डीजीपी इज कमिंग, यू हैव टू गेट रेडी. सो समथिंग हैपेंस, समथिंग कम्स फ्रॉम समवेयर एंड यू आर ऑल रेडी एंड केम बैक. जाते हुए उन्होंने बोला शाबाश, वंडरफुल जॉब, रिलीज. And you got a promotion of something you have done, you noticed by a DGP at that particular time. Stress, eustress बन गया. That is example. So सारे stress खतरनाक नहीं होते, कुछ stress positive भी होते. Now आपको मिलेगा headache, blood pressure and heart disease, which is most important for the mid-career. All those who are nearing to 40 and crossed to 40 has to be very careful with this blood pressure. This is the thing that keep fluctuating with the body. And the number one thing that you have to do with, try this up. क्योंकि स्ट्रेस होने के लिए एम्प्टी चांसेस है. योर ओन लाइफ इज अ लैब फॉर यू. सो वेन एवर यू गेट स्ट्रेस, द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू शुड डू इज टू थिंग्स. विल कम टू दैट एट दैट टाइम आई विल टेल. नेक्स्ट इज साइकोलॉजिकल. इट विल गो फॉर डिप्रेशन एंड एंग्जाइटी. तो स्ट्रेस में जब होता है तो दिस इज द थिंग हैपनिंग. नाउ you will get again behavioral less of job satisfaction, poor productivity, absenteeism, conflicts with team member. It will reach to the conflicts. The conflict हो जाएगा, अपने आप में हो जाएगा. There will be problem with your boss and everything. It is a way, a natural way of sporting out. This is absolutely normal. उसमें कोई problem नहीं है. This is the normal thing. Please accept that. Now, ability to maintain control when situation, people, and even make excessive demands is basically the stress management. And the golden words in stress management is जिंदगी में 10% ही है जो आपको स्ट्रेस की वजह से होता है, 90% आप खुद बनाते हैं. So event is only having 10% role in you. The 90% is made up by you. Examples? You need You need examples? Not required. चाहिए आपको examples? चलो, your pay or suddenly some allowance which was expected, वो नहीं मिला आपको. आपने बहुत प्लान करके रखा है, लोन हो या जो भी हो, आप प्लान करके रखा है. Another employee, salary got delayed for one or other reasons for 1 week. बन गया ना stress. And the stress is so bad that 10% it has gone. Then 90% you are thinking, साला मैं पूरा सुबह से शाम तक I am working this organization and he don't have any value for the work I put in. Why I should work? Next thing, I will ensure that my absence will be felt in the organization. चलो मैं दो तरीके से काम कर सकता हूँ. मैं थोड़ा I'll start moving away. I create more trouble to the system and create all these things, and I'll be suffering from the acts that I performed out of stress. Somebody noticed me. He charged a case against me. You are not doing this thing. You are telling मेरा तनख्वाह नहीं मिला, तो क्या हुआ? And ultimately एक हफ्ते के बाद तनख्वाह आ जाएगा. But that 90% is flared up, it will be difficult for you to come out of that thing. So it is in the mind that how you respond to the stress. It is the 90% is your reactions that happens. And this is one thing which I want to show for every sessions, that is Maslow's triangle of hierarchy. हर बंदा जब पहले होता है फौज में और anywhere they want रोटी कपड़ा मकान. They want the first thing, physical means. आपने बोल दिया चलो I am giving you good food, good sleep and shelter. Do you think that fellow will be happy? He will ask for security. थोड़ा सा बढ़िया जगह मिल जाए तो I will be happy. You gave security. Now next, I want to be social need of being loved, belonging to recognition. अकेला हूँ, I think I should be, there would be somebody with me, I should get married. Now go to the next thing. Next is ego. I am in a family, I should be given more respect. बंद हो गया? You keep moving up until a particular stage a person starts feeling that nothing makes a difference to him. And there is a search which is getting satisfied from everywhere. I should be earning for something more. I want to gain something more to get that thing. That is self-actualization. Self-actualization ये stage होता है जब आप आगे की तरफ अपने अंदर देखेंगे and you will come to know the glorious reality and the truth that everybody is going to die. Before I die, I don't want to end up as a statement. I want to achieve something of my mind. Then the person start responding to situation in a different way. That is actualization. This is the normal. Maslow has responded in 1943, and यही है iceberg principles. जो भी आप इधर पेश कर रहे हैं, and all who are sitting here is showing the good 10% of your character, and the 90% is submerged in the sea. So only 10% will be shown to the public, and 90% आपके भीतर होता है, वो हमें पता नहीं है, and only out of this 90, only 40% is known to you. 50% of the trait you don't know about you. आपके अंदर 50% आपको ही पता नहीं है आप क्या है. उसमें 10% आप दिखा रहे हैं, 40% आपको ही पता है कि आप क्या है. And the 10% you can mold beautifully and show the good face outside and manage the situations very good. But understand, ये science है. The rest, majority of the people sitting here have got their own problem, their own situations, their own life to handle, their own issues, unsolved issues. That is 90%. So why I'm showing this thing is that you are dealing with people like this. Maybe a smiling face fellow is working with you. He's having a hell lot of problems at his house. You can't even think of being handling if you are in that position. So please understand that. So everybody is going through his own battle. यही होता है when we deal with people, and if you understand that, you can to an extent think. Now reduce the stress. If you want to reduce the stress, you manage your mind. Every stress is a thought. Stress equal thought. And stress is always in the past and in the future. Do you know? Stress is in the past because he had sent something to me. उसने ये बोला मेरे को, उसने मेरा ये तनख्वाह था उसने काट दिया. Future, कल मेरे को उसको मिलना है. Tomorrow the work is coming to me. I have to do something tomorrow, and that is a stress to me. अभी क्या है? Stress. The funny part of stress is that unless physical stress, no stress has the ability to take you to the present moment. अगर आपको जोर से you want to empty your stomach, the stress is heavy. You want to pass the urine, the stress is heavy. Other than that, all the other stress are not having any issue. So with that background, we will understand the importance of breath, and this breath is very important. The only connection between your stressful mind and your body is your breath. I will just tell you about this thing. On a day, a person takes 16 beats per minute, 23,000 breaths he is taking per day. आप अपने per day पे you are taking around 23,000 breaths that you don't know and you are unaware of. Can you spend 3 breaths a day consciously? You will come back to the present moment and your life will be getting better. Now, अगर आपके पास सबसे बड़ा, what is the biggest problem you are having right now? If I ask that question, there will be 60 people sitting here, I'll get 60 problems. Okay, but if you do one thing, if I choke the neck of everybody, there will be only one problem. क्या है? सांस नहीं है. And you started entering this world with the problem by the first breath, and till the end you breathe your last breath, the problems will be there. And please understand that. So the breath is very important. If you are aware about this breath, if you are able to control this breath, you will be able to get a great learning for that. If you can get us de-stressed by just slowing down, जो भी आप कर रहे हैं, थोड़ा सा slow down आ जाइए immediately, consciously. You can always keep your mind calm. You can be positive in any situations. You can take it easy. You can unplug, mobile switch off कर लीजिए, and you just enjoy your life. कभी कभार जो है, just go outside, take about all the break, and definitely you can see a wonderful. I am going to introduce one last concept to your thought. I don't know how many of you are aware of this concept. This concept has changed my life. Now what I am going to tell you is my personal experience. I was fortunate enough to work in the Eastern Command. I was working with the one with Eastern से कौन है अभी? अरुणाचल से कोई था? Yeah. I was in Tawang Khirmu. My operational area was there, and I was in 12,000 feet altitude, 15,000 feet altitude with my mules. I was myself and 60 mules. 70 कच्चर थे, 60 कच्चर थे मेरे साथ, 15 बंदे थे, and myself and 6 months. And that is the time I experienced all these behavioral changes, and my interest on this thing has brought out. God has given me one wonderful opportunity for me that time, because there was a monastery, Buddhist monastery, just next to my. I found the heartiest laugh from the people coming from there. Only happiness and smile from all those people who are staying there. I was shocked to see the smile on face of every Buddhist monk there. I was shocked. What is that makes them morning to evening they are happy and smiling? I am not able to return the smile to them. I have 100 reasons to that then. Drawn to this wonderful concept, I spent my 3 weeks with them, and it's changed my personality, and right now I am speaking in front of you. It is what I have learned from them. They taught me the truth of mindfulness, and that is the ultimate aim for happiness that you can get in this world. The mindfulness is nothing but the concept of coming to the present moment. They are telling everything is in the past and the future. Can you come back to the present moment? इधर कोई problem ही नहीं है. You see your hands are active, leg is working, you are able to move. शायद पीछे आपको कोई accident हुआ होगा और होने वाले होंगे, that I don't know. Now at present moment, is there anything happening with you? No. Are you acknowledging that? Wrong. Acknowledge that positivity happening to you, every moment happening to you, and the only way is taking the deep breaths. They told, simply do one thing, sit with us, start breathing. I said, what I will do? The moment I started breathing, they said, try to stop thinking. All thoughts came to my mind. All the dirty thoughts and what all thoughts I want started coming to within 5 minutes. They said, it will come and go, just don't serve tea. Thoughts ऐसा होता है, आपके मन में आएगा जाएगा, आप उसको चाय मत पिलाइए. That means don't entertain. They said a simple exercise for me. When the thoughts are coming to your mind, just label that it is a thought. चलो आ गया, something has come. मेरा CEO के मुंह आ रहा है मेरे सामने, पूरा दिन खत्म हो गया मेरा. So he said, just forget about him. It was shocking. I experienced the first time the total tuned moment with the animal or with the environment, and I experience now also sometimes when I touch the animal with my hand. That is perfect tuned to the present. Solutions keep coming to the sky, I don't know. The apt reaction for any particular situations coming to me, I don't know. I don't want anything in future, any recognition in any field I want to do. I just want to enjoy that present moment and fully aware what I am doing. And unfortunately, or whatever thing, it keeps disturbing you. But the most fortunate part is, what is touched by that moment will be healed. It is told to me, it is experienced by me in n number of times. So miracles are happening when you are in the present moment. If you can be in that present moment, I think that 3 weeks I spent with them, still I have contact with them, I cherish as the best experience in my life. Till then, whatever you are putting, I am 100% there, not bothered about any recognition from any field. I am openly telling this thing for just one reason. As long as we are able to breathe, everything is possible. Every award, every recognition, every scenario that you are getting is temporary. It will be taken by someone else, or it will be thrown out in some other places, or it will be gone once you are dead. But the experience of happiness and feeling that you get at this moment when you are alive, that is yours. If you are not able to enjoy with this thing, it is the biggest waste of our life. This is what is taught to me in Vipassana meditation. Vipassana meditation is the session in which morning to evening for 3 days, you are simply sitting and observing your breath. Limited food, just observe your breath, you will go mad. Second day, I get out and I start screaming, I cannot continue. Third day I came back and again stood, I saw the serious changes happening to me. Now also, I don't spend much time on meditation, but it may be around 3 minutes or 4 minutes, but daily there is a time when I understand the life flowing through me and the happiness happening to me, the happiness and the gratitude of being alive and being serving at least the silent animals in every moment I can do. That makes me moving up. I'm just giving my thought to you. I hope you're not bored, but this is what happened with mindfulness. And this Western, I've taken that principle called mindful-based stress reduction. They say mindfulness is nothing but pay attention to any activity you're doing without judging. The sad part of human mind is you start judging. वो बंदा ऐसा है, वो बंदा यही है, this is what. You keep recognizing, you keep addressing every moment happening to you, you keep labeling. ये वही है. Why? You have seen that thing. But the situation is a separate one. Can you appreciate that separate one? You need to unlearn one and you start perceiving. Judging and perceiving में ज़मीन आसमान का फ़र्क है. Judging is you are labeling something. Perceiving is you are feeling something. So if you are able to I am not able to stay in that particular phase of my moment for more than few seconds. Maybe that is what people go for meditation and extreme, I don't know. Maybe when time comes, I may leave that stage also, I don't know. But one thing I can tell you, sustainability is very difficult, but the moment you are into that, happiness is unlimited for you. So if you are able to keep put mind, it is simple, this slide will tell you everything. जब कोई बंदा आपके पास आके बता दिया कुछ, you start reacting. He said something, you start reacting. That is happening, right? But if you can give something, a choice and a pause in between. Whatever people are telling, whatever you are doing, can you take a small pause in between? The reaction will be not a reaction, but a response. There is a great difference between response and reaction. Between the stimulus and response, there is a space. If that space is understood, it will become response. Like a response is something like somebody is telling that you are good for nothing. आप बहुत काम कर रहे होंगे. Somebody is telling, आप क्या आदमी है, you are not good for anything. एक थप्पड़ मार दिया, that is the reaction. How the hell are you to tell me that I am not good? Response is, he has told something. Am I bad? I think I am good. Then the reason may be he is bad. He is having the problem. I forget. Okay, not responding. ये दोनों depends upon you. So if you can be defined by your own feelings than others, life will be much better. What you can do, and everything is thought. The only way to get the thought is the breathing, and the only way to breathe is just being conscious. Don't take deep inspiration, expiration, जो भी करना है, don't do like that. Just be available for the present moment, and things will come in. What you do today can improve all your tomorrows, and don't give up and keep going. Magic in you is always there, and stay focused in whatever thing. And जब आपको पता होगा this sentence, it is taken from Alchemist. जब एक बंदा जो भी चाहता है पूरे दुनिया वो हासिल करने के लिए मदद करता है, right? If you want to improve as a trainer, as an individual, the whole world will conspire in achieving a aim. Do you know the example? Why you are sitting here? One day you wanted to improve your training. When the training session they announced, you really wanted to come. and you came here and you are going from here with some messages which I feel it is better for you. So be the best version of you. Like Android versions keep changing. Why can't you change your versions? You will change your versions only if you feel that I am changeable. Otherwise, you will still work with that Windows operating system. You remember the first one? So majority of the people suffer because of that operating systems. So why can't we just coming to the present moment and tune yourself? And these are the references which I have learned. These 2 books I find it is a Bible for animal behavior. And thank you very much for listening to me patiently. I would like to give my gratitude to the teacher who made me what I am, Dr. Devanand sir, and Dr. Narayan sir especially, because I was having certain concept in me on behavior. Behavior was my passion other than surgery. I spent a lot of time in my own lab with my own cats and dogs. But when I wanted to handle this session was taught to me, told me that handle this session. I did my level best in delivering the lecture to me. But what astonishing me is that the confidence and the faith my teachers have put on me had made me to speak in front of you. Otherwise, this knowledge would have been with me. It won't be transferred to you. So I thank wholeheartedly to all the teachers who made me speak in front of you. Wish you all a very mindful career, stress-free career. It is possible to try to learn and take care of yourself. That is the greatest advice I can give you. And let us keep growing one by one. So next time when you come, you will get more feedback from you people. We will have some feedback afterwards, I think, just post-lunch session. Thank you once again for not sleeping. Thank you.